I start working out? And he said, a month. And then I asked him, when can I start swimming? He said, 2 weeks. Then he told me I can't shower for a week. And I'm like, when can I start having sex? And he's like, usually people start having sex after they shower. I'm really so selective with my friends, where I go to restaurants, what clubs I perform in. I'm even selective who I go into an elevator with. Who wants to be stuck with random people if it breaks down? The worst is being stuck with a pizza man that won't share. So before I go into an elevator with a pizza guy, I ask him what are the toppings and is he willing to share? If he says anchovies, I take the stairs. I'm such an amazing friend and caring friend. You know, every night before I go to sleep, I check how many Facebook friends I have. And in the morning, I check if they're all there. One day, I saw somebody was missing. And I was like, oh my God, did I say something wrong? Did I post something? Did one of my friends backstab me? Like, how did I lose this friend? So I went through all 3,999, the ones left. And you don't know how good it felt to find out it wasn't me. She just died. Everyone is so obsessed with how old you are. Every time, everyone asks 100 times a day, how old are you? How old are you? You know, I sell life insurance for a living, and I don't want to be constantly reminded of my mortality. I just want to have fun. And I was at an event, and this guy asked me, how old are you? And I got really, really angry. I was like, can you just leave me alone? Can't you see I'm trying to enjoy this funeral? New York is such a tough town to meet a woman, but I figured out how to do it. Uber. Their rating system. If a girl has a high rating, she gets a second date. If she has a low rating, you know she's difficult. Most guys on a first date are trying to get into a girl's pants. I'm trying to get into her phone. The other day, I was reading that poachers use Calvin Klein obsession in order to track lions and tigers in Africa. And I'm like, oh my God, it works. So I ran to Calvin Klein and I bought the obsession. And as I'm walking out, I realized, wait a second, I'm not trying to track lions and tigers. So I went back to the counter and I'm like, do you have anything that attracts cougars? Every time I go on a date, I like to bring a present. So I went on a date with the first date with the girl, and I said, you know, I'll bring tulips. So I bring tulips, and there's no reaction. So I'm like, okay. Second date, she probably doesn't like tulips. The second date, I brought roses. Brought roses, still nothing. Third date, I'm like, I really, really got to step up my game. So I brought these exotic flowers called birds of paradise. Still nothing. No reaction, nada, zilch. So then I started thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't be dating a florist. So there was a girl that I was really interested in, and I wanted her to know it. So I sent her a New Year's card. And I was picking out, you know, the New Year's cards with the apple and the honey, you know, wishing you a sweet new year. And I thought, you know, what better way for her to figure out that I like her than to send us like a fancy pollinator stamp. So I had a choice between a butterfly, which I thought was a little bit wimpy, and a bumblebee, which I thought was a little too aggressive. So I sent a dick pic. And I know she got the message because she's like, nice stinger, but I'm allergic. So I saw a hot girl and I asked her out, and she's like, I asked her out on a date, and she's like, I don't date. I was like, what? You don't date? What do you do about sex? She goes, I use a vibrator. I said, vibrator? That's so impersonal. She goes, oh, what do you do about sex? I said, hookers. So I tried running for Congress, and I won. I won by losing. Who wants to be involved in this craziness? But the problem with losing is that you just don't get paid. So I figured out a job where I get paid, I get a jet, I get a mansion, and your only job requirement is to live. So you heard it here first. In 2036, I'm running for vice president.